Today we are going to talk about podcasts and how you can sell podcast services for your job servicing business. Hi guys, welcome back to Supermom TV, the channel that brings you the best tips, strategies and tools for building a profitable online business. In today's video, I'm going to share how you can sell podcast services for your job servicing business. We are going to learn about podcasts. What is podcast about? How much can you sell your podcast services? What are the services related to podcasts? And how you can bundle them to make a better profit. On my channel, Supermom TV, I often share about how you can grow your online business. So if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the little bell so that you won't miss any of my future videos. So without further ado, let me start with what is podcast. Basically, podcasts are audio content similar to radio shows.
The weirdest talk show all around the world.
Hey, it's Dave Chang, chef founder of Momofuku and host of The Dave Chang Show.
You've probably heard that your story is your brand.
So the big question is this: how are entrepreneurs like us, who didn't cheat and take on venture capital, we're spending money from our own pockets?
So right now, podcast is something very popular and is very similar to radio shows. It can be about anything and every topic under the sun. Plus, they are mostly free to access across desktop and mobile devices. Anyone can listen to podcasts with an internet connection and a pair of headphones. In recent years, podcast has become really popular because it allows audience to save time. You can listen to podcasts while working out, doing house chores, while you're in a car, cooking, walking the dog, or during your free time. This is because you do not need to watch the content, you just need to listen. Podcasters usually upload their content on a very regular basis. Hence, the demand for podcast services are very high. Unlike video editing, whereby you need to edit the video and the audio file, podcast only requires audio editing like voice balancing, noise reduction, volume matching, audio cleaning, and mixing intros and outros. Spotify, Castbox, Radio Public, Player FM, these are a few popular podcast platforms that you can listen the podcast and you can find any kinds of topic on them. So what are the podcast services that we can promote as a job servicer? Basically, the basic podcast service which are very high in demand will be the podcast editing. So it involves audio editing the full podcast. The cost to edit a podcast of about 30 minutes podcast will cost you about $120 to $150 per episode. So after doing some research, I found that most freelancers are charging about $30 per episode. If you plan to promote podcast editing services, you can profit about $90 per edit. Now let me show you how you can bundle the package for podcast services. Generally, a podcaster needs the podcast to be edited, so you need to charge for editing services, podcast marketing, the design and the cover art service, podcast script or the transcription service, creating intro and the outro for the podcast, as well as creating show notes, which are SEO optimized. So these are the 6 services that are commonly needed by podcasters. I have done some research on all these 6 services and here are the costs. For editing, it will cost about $30 as mentioned just now. For the podcast marketing, it will cost about $20. And this involves marketing of the podcast. That means you need more exposure for the podcast itself. And for the podcast design, the cost will be about $15. Many of the sellers outside are selling at $50. Here is an example from Etsy. So this Etsy seller is selling her cover art design at $50. Next, the podcast script or the transcription, the cost is at $35. Creating intro and outro is at $50. Usually for intro alone, it will be at $25. So if you want intro and outro together, it will be at $50. And many sellers out there are selling this service at $150 for the intro and outro. And finally, for creating show notes, which are SEO optimized, the cost will be $35. This comes to a total cost of $185. So I've done a research on how much these packages are sold by agencies outside. I found this website that sells podcast services and their bundle is $225 just for the editing, the marketing, transcription, as well as the show notes. These 4 items were sold at $225 per package. So if we want to bundle these 6 services together, we can sell it at $225 plus a $50 of cover art, plus another $150 for the intro and outro, and finally plus another $120 for the editing. So this one comes to a total of $545. By selling your package at $545, you can get a profit of $360. So this one comes to 4 times of profit. If you were to sell only the podcast editing service, you can only earn $90. But if you bundle these 6 services together, you can profit at $360. And you can call this bundle as a one-stop solution for podcasters. I find that podcast services is very similar to video services because both need editing and both need marketing as well. So that's why for these 2 services, it's very easy for you to upsell other services like marketing services and design services. Many people are into podcasting nowadays. It's the same as many people are becoming YouTubers as well. So there is a huge opportunity for us job services to promote these 2 services to our target audience. And another exciting part about podcast services is you can easily get recurring income from promoting this service because podcasters upload their podcasts very regularly. Some even upload their episodes on a daily basis. So you see, you can craft out one package specially for your clients so that they engage your service for every episode that they have. Plus, every episode need to have promotion as well. So you can upsell your client the marketing part of this service. I hope you have learned something new today and it is going to be beneficial for your drop servicing business. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any more bundles that you want me to create. Don't forget to share my video if you find my video helpful and share it with your friends who want to make an additional income from doing job servicing. That's all for this episode. I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.